Man, I'm sitting here getting packed up, getting ready to leave for the holidays, and I'm sitting here and I'm checking out television, and they got that puff piece show that come on HBO called The Fight Game. It's really just a bunch of garbage with Jim Lampley. No surprise there, but they do a piece on the Margarito Miguel Cotto situation with the first fight. And I'm listening to that, and I can hear all this garbage that this idiot is pulling out of his mouth. Because when this was happening, we didn't hear about all this.
He matched pink
Listen to
stains
this.
on the illegal hand wraps that were seized in the dressing room in Los Angeles. So that's the case, and this jury convicts. If you're wondering what Cotto thinks, just visualize all the outer evidences of interior emotional anguish that have marked his path in the past 7 years, most particularly the tattoos, the reluctance to smile, the angry exits from the ring whenever the judges disappoint him. He's been great, but the fact is, we'll never know how great Miguel Cotto really was. The glory of that was robbed from boxing the night he was beaten and concussed by an opponent wearing illegal weaponry. His fights with Pacquiao and Mayweather came later. They never had to deal with what Cotto was when he arrived in the ring that night.
Now, we just heard this idiot just say that, right? Now, where was this talk when it was happening 5-6 years ago? Where was this talk from Jim Lampley? You didn't say that when he was going up against Manny Pacquiao. You didn't mention, this Miguel Cotto was better than ever. It wasn't, this ain't the same Miguel Cotto. We didn't hear that. Why are you talking about it now? I've said the same thing. So whoever your program manager, whoever's writing this script, obviously y'all been watching my videos, because I have been telling people about the brain damage Miguel Cotto has suffered in the rings by the hands of Antonio Margarito, who you guys continually put in the ring for fights. So how you going to sit there and besmirch this man's accomplishments when you patted him on the back for it by keep giving him fights? So your network is giving this man fights after the fact. He was caught with the gloves. He had 2 mega pay-per-view fights on your network. One with Manny Pacquiao and one again in a rematch with Miguel Cotto. So if you are stickly for the rules and it's such an outrage, why weren't you outraged about the network doing that to make business with this guy who shouldn't be in the ring? But it's so funny to me how you guys are trial, jury, this jury convicts. Well, yeah. Well, why did y'all convict Manny Pacquiao when he wouldn't take the drug test? Here you have no facts, no proof. That blood stain looked like it's in the same spot as another one. He could have did that in sparring. You can't match that from one fight to another fight and say that's the same hand wrap because it's got a stain right there. That's circumstantial. And that's your only evidence? His body language, of course. And I agree with Jim Lampley, because I believe those gloves was fixed in the Paul Williams fight. Paul Williams was cruising 6 rounds. Then after that, when Paul Williams was getting hit, he started like, whoa, like what is this? When the gloves started, his fight got tight. But it just so happened Paul Williams won the 12th round and was able to cruise out a victory. No one brings that fight up. But it was much noticeable in that fight as well. Miguel Cotto's face just suffered a bunch of damage. And you could see the way Cotto was moving around the ring, and he suffered a beating by the hand of it, but the Paul Williams case was just as dirty. But of course, Lampley's not going to bring that up, because this is just a puff piece show to where they're only going to talk about Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, and Gennady Golovkin all day. This show is a travesty to the sport of boxing. It's embarrassing to those who've gotten in the ring and fought for their lives. It's embarrassing to sports journalists. And this just a type of show to make it and glamorify people's own personal perspective and agendas. Put that in there too. Jim Lampley, HBO Sports, all they want to do is promote their fighters, which is nothing wrong with that. But use it doing professional journalism. You have the platform to do so. You have the platform to do something great. Make something great. If something great fails, then go doing the garbage you're doing now. But when you're trying to dress up the pig and trying to bring her to the dance and say, oh, that's my wife, you're only going to fool some people, or they're just going to play nice just to play nice. This is why followers of HBO boxing, the casual boxing fans, are so confused. Because they have idiots like Jim Lampley every day feeding them nonsense and garbage. He's worse. This is worse than a reality show. And then you have the Michelle Beale, who knows absolutely nothing about the sport of boxing, conducting interviews only because of the deal y'all have with ESPN. And they don't know what to do with her on the show, so they just, she does the show with Max, so she got an extra check. He pulled her in on this dumb show because they need somebody to help kill the time with Lampley, because nobody want to hear him talk, period. This show is a mockery. I guess that's why Max is only on it for 10 seconds. How about report the truth? Try the truth and see if the truth works. See if the people like hearing the truth. Saying, I gotta do this because HBO and ESPN has a partnership. I gotta glorify these people. But we really don't know how good they are yet. But we want to see them be great. How about that? Tell the people the truth for once. Try pushing that over and see how it turns out. You might be surprised. And tonight, of all nights, we thought we had a masterful card. We said, man, we're going to get some great boxing tonight. HBO has done it. And then you see the scorecards with Nicholas Waters and this other guy. Thanks, HBO. Thank you. Russell Peltz, I didn't know you had that much power. Thank you, Russell Peltz. Thank you, HBO.